I always thought it would be cool if you could go back and listen to the day-to-day of today's highest achievers as it happened, as opposed to 30 years later after they've made it. I believe there's a giant disconnect between ground zero and the top floor because we only see the top floor and the top floor only talks about the top. How valuable would that be? And so it goes without saying, but I believe I'll make it there. And this is the documented journey through each level. My name is Bryson Sessions, and you are listening to the Bed Podcast. I probably should have made this episode first before dropping yesterday, but whatever. So if you listen to yesterday's, which only one person has so far, but I don't even know why I addressed that shit. This is being made for 10 years in advance, so whatever. So the whole idea with the Sales Chronicles little mini series or whatever within the podcast itself is to capture as many opportunities as I get in life to either make a sale or to persuade or whatever. Because this is, for those who don't know, BED stands for Bryson Every Day. That's literally what it stands for. That's because it's a documentation of me every single day for the next 19 and a half years. And there's some other acronyms that you can throw in there as well that are also applicable, which is pretty cool. So it's a versatile acronym, but business excellence and discipline. And then there's, I had a whole list actually, now I can't remember any of them, but business excellence and discipline, and then Bryson Every Day, or better everyday diary or something like that. I can't remember. So that's what that stands for. So hopefully with everything that I do moving forward as far as sales and stuff like, and what the fuck, bro? Let's go ahead and rewind because I totally skipped what I was talking about. Business excellence and discipline. So business, that's part of the whole thing. So if I can capture every time I have some kind of phone call or I have some kind of meeting or something like that I can legally do or safely do or whatever, then I'm going to do that because I want to capture all of that. Because I think it'd be so cool to be able to go back and listen to the people that we look up to now, go back and listen to their first ever phone call where they were trying to close a deal, or go back and be a fly on the wall to their first ever meeting where they were negotiating a better price for a certain product or something like that. So a lot of those things I know you can't really do because it's a whole, I don't know what the words are, but it's probably not legal to leak a whole entire meeting and whatever. I'm sure I could do some of that and then just blur out whatever the agreement was if they don't want people knowing or whatever, like the price or the terms of agreement. I don't know. See, there's so much I don't know, but I would love to be able to go back and listen to that stuff from people that I look up to now so that I can learn and so that I can, so imagine someone you look up to now and they're like, yeah, back when I was 20 years old, this is what I did, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, I believe you. And I talked about this yesterday, almost verbatim here. But it's like, yeah, I believe you, but is that really what you did? Is that really what you said? Did you say it that way? And they really said no, So it's the whole idea with this particular thing listen to yesterday's episode. It's really long. It's very bad. But, and the audio quality is absolute dog shit. But it is the first ever episode of everything that I'm doing with the sales and persuasion and the making deals and getting people to do what I want to do without being a snake oil salesman type shit. So, because I've always had a bad taste in my mouth with sales, I've always thought I'm like, oh yeah, it is for the snake oil salesman. It is for the people who lie and for, and that's just because how I was brought up and the stuff that I was, I guess just how people talked about that stuff around me. And it's interesting that I'm not even going to get into that. So it's just crazy how you're brought up and the beliefs that you have from the way that you're brought up. So anyway, so that's Sales Chronicles episode number 1 yesterday. So it was with FedEx. So it was I had to get reviews for my deliveries, which is so silly. Like that FedEx even, whatever, man. But I took it as an opportunity to get better at talking to people and asking these questions. And for me, this is really uncomfortable. So it is pushing me out of my comfort zone. I mean, to give somebody a box and be like, hey, so did I do a good job? It's like, what do you even mean, bro? You just handed me But a lot of people are receptive to the idea, especially if there's no work involved for them. So you can go back and listen to yesterday's, but I'm just 233. But when I would present the the question, hey, I need a review. Would you mind doing that? People were, first of all, they were receptive, period. But they were even more receptive when I was like, and I can do it for you. You don't got to do anything. It was like, oh, hell yeah, I will, kind of thing. And I touched on it yesterday, but that goes to the value equation that Alex Hormozi drafted up, which is the dream outcome times the perceived likelihood of achievement divided by the time delay times the effort and sacrifice. Meaning they were able to achieve this thing that they wanted to achieve, which was helping me out if they wanted to. And they were able to do it immediately. There was no sacrifice, there was no effort, and it was done like that. So, I mean, it's funny to compare that to the value equation. So let's say that their goal is to get me a review, but they don't want to click on the tracking number. They don't want to go in there and type all the shit. They don't want to click the 5 stars and then click submit and then go to the next page. They don't want to do it in 5 minutes. They want to do it now. So like that's actually a perfect plugin for this. So if their dream outcome is to give me a review, and then it's multiplied by the perceived likelihood of achievement. Like, okay, if I do this, am I actually going to give this guy a review? And then you divide that by how long it's going to take, the time delay, multiplied by the effort and sacrifice. They don't got to sacrifice shit. There's no time delay. There's no effort required because I'm doing it for them. So all the work is on my end, and I get a sale every time if you want to look at it in that regard. So, and it's crazy that I broke down asking somebody to give me 5 stars into such a detailed sales-oriented equation of inputs and outputs. But, I mean, that's kind of the mentality I've taken with a lot of shit now. So I'm just trying to be better, and this is one way that I can do that. And it might not be the best way. It might be the worst way. But it is a way for me to get better, and I did get better. And so at the end of the day, that's a win, that's progression, and that's what I'm going after. So win-win-win all around. I'm very happy with that. So you can go back and listen to that yesterday. There's a lot of interactions with people. There's a very long one actually with a Vietnam veteran named Mike. Really cool guy. And it was just cool. I wouldn't have had that conversation if I wouldn't have got to know him and had that conversation with him. Because there's actually part of the conversation that was cut out. I just felt like it was the right thing to do to cut a lot of that stuff out. So, and it's just privacy to this guy. So he didn't know he was being recorded. I'm sure that's not a good thing. So we'll deal with that later. But it's just, I wouldn't want to be talking really vulnerable about things and then have that be posted online and me not even know. And I'm sure that's already happened because it is the internet. It's 2024 and there's shit everywhere. But if I can control that and I know within my heart that I did that, then we're good. So anyway, it was a really nice long conversation with that guy. And I wouldn't have had that if I didn't try to get him to give me a review. But it's because I was trying to help him help me that I had this conversation. And I was able to learn more about this guy. And it's just so cool, man. It's that one instance got me thinking of like, dude, how many more people can I get to know like this and kind of develop some sort of very, very surface level FedEx recipient relationship with? I mean, the fucker's moving too. So I don't know if you heard, but anyway, it's, so going back to the reason why I'm doing the Sales Chronicles is because I want to capture I already said it, but every meeting, every phone call, every sales call, everything that I can, I want to capture it and post it so that they're here forever. So that when someone's feeling like, oh, dude, I have no idea what I'm doing. What did Bryson do for sales? Let's go see. And then you can go click on my first thing and they can hear me just absolutely bombing the shit, and then they can think, wow, dude, this guy's ass, I can do better than that. And then they do better than that. And then they have the confidence to do better and to progress in whatever they're trying to do. So that's the whole vision with that. I just want to capture everything. So, and it is at the expense of maybe my qualification or whatever you want to call it. If somebody listens to one of these and they're like, wow, dude, he blows ass, we're not doing a deal with him, like that. That's a loss I take in the future, dude. But nobody else is doing this. Nobody else has the humility to post this shit, you know? It's embarrassing, dude. That's why I put a little, the woozy emoji face next to the title. That means I'm embarrassing myself, dude. It's very embarrassing because it's so bad. And a lot of people who don't even have a desire to grow who might be listening to this, which is weird if you're listening, and you don't have a desire to be better. But you might be listening to that like, how hard is it to ask somebody to review? Dude, it's not hard at all. It's just fucking weird. It's awkward. And it's unconventional. Is that the word? It's not practical. Like, I just handed you a box. I'm asking you, hey, do you think I did a really good job today with handing you this box? It's like, dude, what do you even mean? So that's me being in my own head. So every time that I have a day like yesterday, I'm going to try to record every interaction that I can. It was extremely tedious, so I'm going to have to be a lot more selective with when I record, how I record, etc. Because it was a pain in the ass to edit this yesterday, because I had to listen to the whole thing and then go through and find certain things that, So it is a bit of a hassle, and it took way too much time. And because, again, this podcast was originally supposed to be 2-minute long episodes so that you could listen to a whole month of my life in 1 hour. That was the whole vision, but we've already said fuck that, and we're doing episodes that are up to an hour long. So, this podcast is not supposed to be long. It's not supposed to be the best quality. It's not supposed to be the most professional or the highest quality anything. It's just literally meant to be like, pull out my phone. Hey guys, I just did a deal. This is what happened. I said this, he said that. We're learning lessons. Okay, bye. That was really the vision. But until I get the other podcasts up and running, I think, well, even then, I'm still probably going to be doing this because I really enjoy it. It's therapeutic. And just talking things out like this as if somebody's listening, because somebody is, it helps me think about things differently, and it helps me talk through things. And even just doing this, it just makes you feel like I'm more productive because I just did this thing. I killed it, and I'm learning. I'm getting better. And then so as soon as I stop recording, then I write about it, upload it, and then I'm like, dude, okay, let's take this momentum. Let's put it into this thing, and I start working on that. So, I mean, you could even look at it as like a little warm up. I get warmed up for the workday by kind of emptying my thoughts and shit on here, and then I dive into the work that I need to do. And I don't feel like I have to do that, but it does help, kind of lubes up the joints, if you will. So pretty cool. But yeah, that's the quick introduction to the Sales Chronicles. I'm pretty sure I'll call it that. I had thought about the sales tales, but I feel like tales is more to the extent of made up or fairy tale or some myth. So Chronicles is actually, I believe the definition is a chronicle is something that happens in chronological order, which is the exact way that it happens. So like that was episode 1 yesterday, which was me bombing, asking for reviews for FedEx deliveries. And then maybe Sales Chronicles episode 100 might be making a deal for $1 million. Who knows, dude? But yeah. And so I'll address this right now because it is a thought that it maybe if you think about the shit you'd have. But it's like, okay, so if I have a sales call with a client and then they agree, and then I record that and then I post it as a podcast, would they then see that and be like, oh my hell, this guy's so stoked that he just made money off of me? Well, like would I still post that? And my answer to that is I think I overthink that a lot, because if I signed up for a service and that guy, fuck man, let's do something practical. Let's say I'm looking for a contractor to give me cement for my driveway or something like that. I call him, we get a deal down. It's 10 grand for whatever. I don't know numbers. As you can tell, I have no idea. And then I find out that this guy has a podcast and he talks about all his business success and all of that. And I go and listen to it and I'm like, holy shit, this is my phone call. I don't think I would think anything of it other than, wow, dude, this guy's growing his fucking business. That's really cool. Like, I know he just made 10 grand off of me, but man, he does good work. So I'm excited. That's how I personally would perceive that. And I'm not trying to bullshit to, because that's really how I would think about it. So maybe I just overthink that shit, like there's so many things that people hide behind the scenes because they're afraid of what others might see or think. But it's like, that's how everything goes. That's how everything is. And this podcast is for the business guys, for the people who want to be better, who want to build something for themselves. This podcast is not for people who just want to lose weight, because it'd be really weird if I care a lot about reading books, but I was all of a sudden into a roofing podcast where they talked about roofing, and it's like, dude, I'm just into cookbooks. So why would I? So anyway, The people who listen to this show, I think, are the people who will take the most value from it. And the people who don't have any interest in what I got going on here, I would hope that they don't listen, because that would be a waste of their time. It gets me views and stuff, but I want people listening to the show who like the show for the show, not just because it's me, I guess. So if you're listening right now, I would hope to a certain level that you want to be better in life, that you have certain goals that you want to achieve, and you are interested in being better and developing and growing and all that shit on a day-to-day basis. So this is the Bryson Everyday Project. That's what BED is. So I'm actually going to title this episode, What Does BED Stand For? And I bet you it'll get more views because people are curious, because I haven't really talked about it. Also, I made that prediction about me titling the business investment offer by the two people who offered to invest there was no detailed numbers or anything. It was just offers. But I made the prediction, and I just got really lightheaded. What the fuck, bro? I made that prediction that it would get more views because of the title. And guess what? Actually, let me find it. It did. Where did I put it? What episode is that? Yeah, so it got 11, which is, I think, like top 10 of all time. So let's check actually. Got 11. Oh, hold on. Statistics overview. Dude, what the hell is going on? Statistics overview. All time. I need to go to all time. That's what's going on. Hold on. Let me figure this out live. Yeah, so it is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it is my 8th most downloaded episode of all time with 11. Or 9, I guess. It's tied for 8. But anyway, that was my prediction. I was like, I'm going to title it this, and I bet you that it's going to get more views because people are going to see that and be like, huh, what the hell? And I was right. So, see that right there? That's a win for me. It's like, okay, I'm actually going to try a different way to title this episode, and because I think this is what's going to happen, and I titled it differently, and look at that. It's in the top 10 episodes of all time. And just for the record books, it's June 9th, it's Sunday, June 9th, 10:38 a.m., 2024, and here's my top 10 episodes right now. So this is episode 234, and as of right now, in order, this is what I'll do. I'll give the episode number and then how many downloads, and I'm just going to do that 10 times. So we got episode 1, 24, episode 157, 17. By the way, both of those, episode 157 was linked in my Instagram bio for a while. We got episode 225, 13. Episode 100, 13, which is also linked in this was the first episode I posted live for everybody to see. That's when Episode 159, 12. 195, 12. 224, 12. 2, 11. 218, which is the investment one, 11. 217, 10. So that's for the record books. That doesn't pertain to anything. But anyway, that's going back to what I was saying with the title of this show. I'll title it. What did I say I was going to title it? I already forgot. What does BED? Yeah, what does BED stand for? What does BED stand for? And let's title the show right now. Sales Chronicles. What does BED stand for? What does BED stand for? And Sales Chronicles intro. I think that's the title. Yeah, so super abrupt into the show. Okay, bye. Hey, thanks for listening, and quick reminder here. So this podcast doesn't prioritize professionalism or quality at all. It's just meant to be a shoot from the hip type podcast with the intent just to get a quick message out. So some episodes might be inaudible in 30 seconds, and others might be 45 minutes and super crisp sounding. So all these are being made so that by episode 7,305, which is 20 years, we can come back and see the entire playbook of how I made it to wherever I'm going. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.